A biblical perspective on life, culture and current events. This is 2020 on Vision.
Well, you might be familiar with the amazing work that Youth with a Mission does with that particular dimension of their ministry through YWAM medical ships. This past month, there has been a significant milestone in the history of YWAM medical ships, Australia and Papua New Guinea. Both the Australian and PNG governments have publicly announced their support for the life extension project of the ship MV YWAM PNG. Ken Mulligan is Managing Director of YWAM Medical Ships Australia and PNG, and he joins us right now. Welcome to the program, Ken.
Well, it's great to be with you. Thank you for your time.
It's great to have you with us, mate, to share this good news about what's going on. Now, as I understand it, the ship is about to be taken out of action. Is that correct?
Well, it's being taken up to the Philippines, Cebu of all places, way up north for us, to get the life extension done.
And with that life extension, what's the prognosis about the boat? How long has it been in commission for, and how long do you forecast it being able to go forward for?
Well, the ship is 25 years old. So with this life extension, what our plan is to extend its life for another 10 years in service. So that gives us a lot of opportunity to engage with many people.
And for the life extension project of the boat, as you guys have gone around raising the funds for that, how has it managed to be in the fundraising process that you've got government buy-in for this?
Well, it's our approach over many, many years. It's not just been this year. We've consistently worked with the Australian government and Papua New Guinea government, but also we work with grassroots level, people on the ground. We engage in so many different sectors because we want buy-in, ownership. We listen to so many people about what's needed to happen. So it's a real collaboration. And with that collaboration, we can actually get better outcomes. So it's about seeing how we can bring transformation through whole regions. Bringing
that transformation into the regions as we go forward after the repair of the boat. For our listeners who may not be familiar with the work of YWAM medical ships, what is it that the boat is doing in that part of the world?
Where we sail our ship, we've been engaged up in Papua New Guinea since 2010 with ships. This would be our second ship, and it's a larger one than the first. And the needs are quite excessive in these different areas. And we were sailing around a lot of the coastline. But now we've focused specifically on the Western Province because we're looking at what it looks like to expand, to have multiple ships. And to do that, we're just... which is just wonderful because the need is very much there. So we do a lot of primary health care. We do everything from ophthalmology, immunisations, dental care, a lot of training actually, and that's been just wonderful. There's a lot of schools through these areas that need assistance as well. So education has got to be a big part. We also engage with the whole area of the Bible as well, oral mother tongue. Just recently we helped deliver some Bibles. Actually, it's quite an amazing story because some very dedicated people were able to translate the scriptures. So we're able to take into a particular area their first Bible ever, which is quite an amazing thing. So, we don't realise or take this for granted, but we just think that overcoming isolation is such an important aspect of life, and so often we take that for granted. So where we go, it's like, okay, we just catch the car or the bus. It's not like that. There's no train lines. You can get onto airplanes if you can afford it. But many of the places we go into are so isolated, and there's, literally hundreds of villages, thousands of people, and they're looking for hope and opportunity. And it's such a privilege to engage with so many young people and just just to let people know that they are cared for. It's just incredible.
Just listening to you right there, Ken, list off the many achievements that the body of Christ can do for this developing nation there in PNG just through the access of one simple ocean-going vessel. It's quite astounding that you guys managed to fit so much work into that one vessel. Tell me, Ken, how long is it until the boat is going to be able to be back in its home field doing what it needs to be doing?
We'll return the ship in late October and start again. So we break the year into 4 quarters. So we get volunteers from all over Australia, different parts of the world that come in, and we have a lot of nationals on board. So there's upskilling from both Papua New Guineans and also Australians and different ones as we all work together. And it's just an incredible environment because we have up to 120 people on board, usually up to 15 different nationalities. And it's that in alone is quite an atmosphere on board a ship. And then we engage into these various areas on a consistent basis. So we don't just go into one area because different people ask me, they say, well, where else do you go? And we go, well, actually, what we're doing is focusing on the Western Province so that we can actually build and strengthen these communities and look at building pathways for young people so they can get further training. We've trained over 500 young people just in assisting them in the maritime areas, and the list just goes on and on, actually. We've delivered over about 2.2 million community development services and training over the last number of years. So it's been a lot, actually. A lot of people have given a lot.
Could you give us one example of one of the people, like the nationals from the area, who have been reached out to by YWAM, and you've been able to take them on the journey of upskilling them? Because it sounds like you're really investing in transformative change in an area rather than just distributing thin relief across a vast expanse. So give us an example of someone in that Western Province who's come on board with you and YWAM boats have been able to really take them forward.
There's so many, actually. One of the key leaders on the ship is a young man by the name of Icy, and it's just been wonderful to see him grow in knowledge, getting his training, and now he's a qualified captain to actually take our ship into the various areas of Papua New Guinea. Wow. We also have training for medical students as well, so we take lots of different young people into these areas and upskill them on a consistent basis because we're a registered training organisation in Australia, and that training also goes into Papua New Guinea. So we're constantly training young people in discipleship. We run a discipleship training school, and that's about their knowledge of God and their faith, but then also the application of their faith to help build communities. So, and then we go into other areas and different schools to upskill people. So there's been a lot of work given and put in by many, many people over the years. And on the ground, it's just hard to comprehend, actually, because sometimes you'll see or think, oh gosh, are we just doing a little bit? But our focus is really how do we develop the communities in these areas and really strengthen them and see transformation. So it's wonderful, actually, because that's what the people want.
That lasting transformation really is what we want to see at the end of the day, that we haven't just been able to provide a service, but we've been able to bring change as the body of Christ. Now, hearing you share about bringing the DTS into the developing world, the Discipleship Training School into the developing world, I know it certainly runs in Australia here, runs in New Zealand, all around the world. Tell us, how can listeners who are listening in here who might be getting inspired by the impact that the YWAM ships are having, how can they get involved with what it is that you guys are doing in that part of the world?
Yeah, well, I think probably the simplest way is to get on our website, which is ywamships.org. Go in there, YWAM Medical Ships Australia, and find out. There's short-term opportunities. Sometimes people say, I'm not a medical professional. You don't have to be a medical professional. There's so many different elements to what we do. But we do have doctors, nurses, specialists come on board. We've got good facilities. We have young people and sometimes even families on board. So we create just a wonderful atmosphere, and it's amazing what you can do if someone can take a few weeks out of their life and extend their care to someone else.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at some of the statistics that are coming forth from the ships, and I'm seeing here that you're delivering all kinds of different services, health services, training services. It says in my notes here, 2.2 million health and training services are delivered. Could you share with us a couple of like the more colourful ones where you've got surgeries or dental surgeries happening? What are some of the other on-the-ground things?
Well, there's so many. Some of the most stark or just amazing times is when you have ophthalmology, the cataract surgery. And like, for example, one year we had this woman sail, or actually didn't sail, she paddled down one of the rivers for 2 weeks. Can you imagine being blind? And she hadn't seen her children for, I think it was 10 years. And she was able to then see her 3 children for the first time. How do you put words to that?
How do you put words to that? That's the love of God in action, not just in theory, but in practice, right?
Oh, absolutely. And like I remember one year we had this girl come, and we didn't know whether we could operate on her. She had cataract. She was 6 years of age. Oh. And her whole world and community were turned around as we express, as you said rightly, the love of God, because it's not just about words, it's also about deeds and how do we get involved in our community in real action.
We've been joined by Ken Mulligan right now talking with us about the YWAM medical ships. If you want to find out more, go to their website, ywamships.org.au. Ken, thank you so much for coming and bringing us an update on what's going on out there. We can't wait to have you back on again in the future to talk about when the boat is actually recommissioned and going out there. Thanks for joining us, Ken.
No problem. Thank you.
God bless.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.